Okay. Ahí, espera.
Okay.
Okay, good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for participating in this new episode of the AMAT or Art Connection series, presenting today our dear friend from Peru, Vivian Wolloh. I'm sure, judging by the first screen we're seeing of her work, that it's going to be an amazing presentation. I wanted to extract a few words from the last AMAT Now newsletter, something written by our member, Selma Rothman, who is the membership vice president of AMAT Israel. And she announces that October is membership month. However, anytime we can become members of AMAT. During this particularly rough year, AMAT Israel has forged, despite obstacles, pursuing the mission to prevent domestic violence and maintain daycare centers and youth villages in Israel. January and February are good times to become a member of AMAT or to invite a daughter, a cousin, or leader in your community to join AMAT. Think about how much being a member of AMAT means to you and give the gift of membership to someone special you know. Share with them the attractive online activities highlighted to weekly emails. Put your Jewish values into action. Touch their lives by making them members of the AMAT Mishpacha. All of us are waiting to hear creative ideas to help us grow and thrive. May we soon drink Lehaim together in 2021. So for those of you who don't know much about AMAT, welcome. AMAT is an organization in Israel. Through AMAT Israel, we care for children in daycare centers all over Israel. We have high schools for second chance education and many programs on domestic violence. And we are leaders in promoting the role of women in all sorts of Jewish life in Israel. So welcome and thank to our series of AMAT or Art Connection. We have been bringing amazing artists every month. We already have a lineup all the way to September. And this has been a way in which in a year that we cannot do a big event in order to fundraise for AMAT Israel, we have been able to send some money and help with all the needs that Israel, AMAT Israel has in order to care for the families and children in Israel. So welcome today. Thank you so much for the participation of those who are in or those who cannot be here, but we will be sending recordings and I give you the mic, Annabelle or whoever is going to introduce Vivian. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you, Rebecca. So today we're very honored to have Vivian Wolloh. I know her since she was a very little girl. And she studied graphic design in Peru, and then she went to France, and she decided to stay there to apply to École des Beaux-Arts, where she was accepted, and she's a graduate of the École des Beaux-Arts, and she lived in France for 8 years. She moved to the United States, and she won several awards here. She won she's in the permanent art collection at the Palm Beach Airport, and was elected to exhibit at the Fort Lauderdale Museum of Modern Art. And her work is very diverse, I would say, and she uses recyclables, and her inspiration have been Hilma de Klimft, an amazing artist from Sweden she was one of the precursors of the and she with philosophy.
Annabelle, we're having problems with you, Annabelle. We have problems listening to you.
Oh, you cannot hear me? Oh, okay. So I will be very brief. Maybe it's the internet that is not good. Do I have to move? It must be the internet. Abre la puerta mejor. So I just will give you the table. Vivian, please go ahead and enlighten us with your work. That so far what we've seen is amazing, and you've exhibited in such interesting venues. And we can't wait to see your presentation. Please, Vivian.
Thank you. So, well, I'm going to start so you can know me a little bit about my background, about the exhibitions I made and my work. So, what I did here is I make a timeline and I put it in 6 parts so you can follow the years and the chronology a little bit, so you can see with some order my works. So here I am. I started with imaginary landscapes. This is a subject that I begin in France. And so in this experience, I start to work mixed media, paper. Most of all, here I begin to have a discovery about the vision and experience of the recognition and discovery of the organic elements that lives in our body. So as you see, they're like it's an abstract landscape. Suggesting what are the cells or the veins or the blood. So then after this experience, I went to work to canvas, no, the more professional, to take the linen and canvas. These are some of the works. So here I was experimenting a lot with strong brushes and fluorescent colors. Work different techniques such as wash, oil, color ink, pastels, and I got a chance to get a studio in La Cité Universitaire in Paris with a lot of international artists. That was a great experience. After almost 8 years, I moved to United States, where I continue working in the landscape, but in a much more academic style. So these are like huge, like murals really, because they're like 5 meters to 350. And here I had the opportunity to be in a competition that I was qualified with another painter from Cuba. So we were 2 women from Latin America. So they choose, in my case, they choose this paint that is in the international airport in Palm Beach. And all these years, it was a long process. And I started to have, that's the catalog. Then I start to read a lot about the art world in the United States from the 50s and 60s. And I was really a lot in what it was this reading and studying, and I was very influenced by Marcel Duchamp. I don't know if you know him. He's maybe from the 20th century, he was the most important with Picasso, no? But he has this thinking of the ready-mades that was really, it got to me. And then I took a completely different direction in my artwork. So, well, this is one of the pieces. And then this series, the name of this series is Monochromes, because I will focus more in the technique and not in the colors. So I will use a monochrome range, such as sepias, black and blue. And so the technique here is, well, I experiment with the fabric and start working a technique of sanding and washing. The process was to get to the main thread of the canvas by recycling. Through this kind of washing, then get to the beginning of it and cover it with sepia paint. So finally, wipe out the ink and found the initial light left in the very thin canvas. It was lots of physical work and a kind of desperate search until reached the first paint strokes made on the fabric, so that will remain a footprint or a first sign. So these pieces are really very, very thin, even if you can feel the deepness. They are like so thin, like, well, it's not a paper, it's still a fabric, but very, very thin because of the technique. So here, I was following this technique. I really enjoy it to work. And in this moment, I begin to, well, in that moment I have a family, I have my kids, so I begin to mix the home and the studio. In French, we say atelier, so, but it's the atelier with the home. So I begin to mix and find tools so I can express myself in better ways. And for example, I have tools from the studio such as shovels, forks, spoons from home, nails, hair combs, some of my son pieces of Lego, packing bubbles, bottles and crates. So I continue the recycle technique of sanding and washing the old canvases. I tried very hard to get in an artistic professional circle. And I made 3 group exhibitions in New York with the Praxis Gallery. That were maybe my first really important exhibitions in New York, and then in Miami, in South Miami. I made several exhibitions too. So here is one of the works. This work, particularly for me, it takes me a lot to what is the Holocaust. All this technique, all this monochrome way of searching, it takes me a lot to my Jewish roots. So once in these pieces, well, once I got to the thin canvas, I applied a kind of acrylic that I could use as a mold that dried very fast, and then used the tools to print on the mold to obtain the results I wanted. It was really an experience, a very physical experience, because everything was in a very big how you say, tina, a big place where you put water. So it was
Tub, a large tub.
yes, and so it was really work, no? This one is in the collection of Central Cultural Center Inca Garcilaso. So in this piece, named The Table, well, this is the point where I reach the end and the beginning of my career as an artist. That means that for every time I'm going to need to look back, the table will be the restart, the point zero. That will be before and after. So, and that will be my compromise as an artist. And today, when I was looking again for this PowerPoint, I remembered a very nice anecdote because I had twice the visit of a rabbi in my studio. One, when I had this piece, and he was looking, he's a friend, and he was looking and he told me, why you didn't finish the work? And I say, well, I don't know, you know, it's like, that's it. I mean, I continue. And he told me that about the unfinished law of the Talmud. And this says that the law of the Talmud has one more characteristic, and it is not a fleeting creation, but is an unfinished process, which continues without ceasing. So I found it really, that has a lot to do with the process of art. In this moment, I was living a very controversial and difficult time. Being a woman, being a wife, being an artist, and being a mother. So I came to Peru to stay here and work. And I was kind of breakdown, really. It was a difficult time. So I became very slowly, I came again to the figurative. And the classic painting, oil painting, you know? So here I'm going to show you some of this series that also was, all these paintings were in exhibitions, but that you can see if you want in the web page. So here are these kind of contemplation and melancholic and sleepy figures that came out in the canvas. Because my emotional states. And well, this is a very, as you see, a representative figuration. Well, so then little by little, I was recovering, and I began to use again colors, and these ethereal beings were transformed in concrete real bodies. I was painting animals and colors, and I did this exhibition. I have here only 2 photos because because I can't put everything in this PowerPoint. So really, it was a transformation again. And then
¿No lo puedes poner ahí?
¿Ah?
No lo puedes
Hello?
poner ahí.
No lo puedo poner ahí.
so then everything is okay? Hello?
Continue, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Then I started this project named Circuits. And this project it was a very complicated thinking about analogy between the geometric textiles designs from the people of the jungle of Peru that were usually made under the influence of ayahuasca and the design of the motherboard. You know, the motherboards from the computers of the modern civilization. Well, that's me beginning the paintings of circuits. That's me in my studio. And this is the first large, crazy painting about the motherboard that really took me to so many deep reflections. And most of all, it was like a aerial viewing, you know, from up to down, and where I could see villages and cities and streets and rail trains and houses and connections. So all of these things were really the meaning of my life beginning in Peru again, no? With people here and embracing different cultures, and most of all from knowing new people. In this case, a lot of people from the Amazonia. So I started these paintings, and I have, for example, here I put this is a textile from people that the Kene culture is a group from the Amazonia. So in my conversations, we start to sharing this kind of interest, but how they, with the ayahuasca, they could see visions that we, the people without the ayahuasca or in a constructive way, we were doing with the computers in the systems of the computers, no? So here is another, it's a close view. It's a close-up. I begin to paint a lot of close-ups to keep this thinking. These are also some patrons of the textile in Peru. So this is a painting, and as you see, it's a close-up of a motherboard. And in this close-up, the waves and the circles and the messages are maybe the same that you can find in a textile from people that don't know nothing about technique, about mechanicals, no? But with this ayahuasca, they can do the same things. So this is another motherboard. Close-up. This was in an exhibition. So here it took me almost 2 years to make these paintings, and so here I begin to break a little bit the structures. And so I was, I'm gonna show you some drawings, because always during all my process, always the drawing in paper is always in my side. I mean, wherever I go, wherever, even in my studio, my house, I have always the alternative of drawing. So these are from a series called On the Ground. It's kind of, it's pencil on paper. So then after circuits, I continue with the study of jungle people from the jungle, and breaking the structure, I came again to imaginary landscapes. You know, that the subject that I was in the beginning. So well, in these paintings, they were made mostly on black backgrounds that suggest the origin, the beginning, the fragmenting and freeing from the structures, forming connections and decoding messages with pictures and continuous graphics. This painting have not so much to do maybe, but it's in the synagogue Sharon in Lima. This is a mural that I dedicated to my grandmother, Jenia Sachs, as a survivor from the Holocaust. And the name of this mural is Jacob's Dream. And I had a chance to be with another a great artist that is Moiko Jacket, that he's in the, also he have a work in glass, in vitral, in the same synagogue. So here I'm gonna show you also again some drawings. This one is, these drawings are undergrounds. They're works in fine paper. So as you can see, there are like very little seeds underground. There are like a little person shapes. And that's always is when something is coming out, you know, like something is beginning to grow, like the seed inside the ground. So in this in these pieces, you're gonna see that I beginning to simplify a lot. I beginning to minimize a lot in the canvas. And here's where I start really to look for a quiet kind of art. Looking for a lot of the art of Kunz and Hilma af Klint. So, well, this, I'm making a change to maybe the last 4 years. And I begin this project that is aerial perspectives. So in this project, I was really, I had this obsession with aerodynamics and the wings of the planes and the lines and so I begin to recollect a lot of photos, and I begin to do a lot of collage, because the collage is a way of, for me, has been very important in each change that I had, because in my past year, I was working in a very emotional way. So when I was passing from one stage to another, I use a lot of photos. I use a lot of, you know, like a kind of a puzzle to make collages to explain myself and really to get to what I was looking for. So it was really a big help. In this case, I was using also the spilograph, you know, this little thing that you make the rounds with the ink. So this is also a collage of drawings. So now my current work right now is a navigation between lines and shapes. So this is one of the first paintings that came out of all this searching. That is have a very simplified palette. So these pieces, I have been working in a huge glass tables that gave me the sensation of frame and height. So I can be part of the process and an experience, because always when you make a group of new bodies of canvas, it's an experience that you live. I mean, you cannot be out of the experience. So in the studio, you find the way to feel more comfortable, so you can be a part of the experience that grows in the materials, or with the materials you're using. So this work, there is a kind of living geometry. Specifically, in these works, I show the anima. These are paintings that sensibly communicate a light gravity, a thought of absence, and perhaps the connection to the state of life and routine during the lockdown. These last pieces, I made it in 2020 during the confinement. So maybe it has a lot to do. So for me, art is the urgency of life to capture every reflection and emotion. It's a sort of telepathic thread that starts from a very fine thought that relates a space, idea, and matter. And as it being a process, it ends in a sort of mystical body. So that's it.
Vivian, this is a wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
It's amazing that you are focusing on this table at the moment, which is your tabla rasa, where you start and end a process and change so much. So every stage you go up, you start with the tabla rasa again to start and investigate a whole new process. I think it's fantastic how diverse you are, how you can go from figurative, from your drawings to your oils, to your abstract, and to put so much philosophy. If visiting your webpage is also interesting how you combine your own thoughts and thoughts of others, which ties beautifully to your work. If anybody else wants to add something, by the way, I've seen your Jacob's ladder in the Shalom Synagogue, and it's beautiful. The scale is so large, and it's pretty abstract, and it conveys so much. I think it's fantastic. Thank you for your presentation today. We're open to anybody who wants to give your comments.
Or any question, if you have, you must have questions, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, you can all unmute your speakers on the bottom left. You can unmute and ask any questions you would like.
Vivian, congratulations. It's really interesting all your work you do. I like very much the pencil. The draw from pencil is fantastic. Huh? You express so much over there. I love it. Very nice. Everything is a different texture, a different time that you did everything and you express your feelings. It's fantastic. Congratulations, Vivian. Very nice.
It was a pleasure.
Vivian, I noticed that your work at some point has almost an engineer's feeling to it. It's so precise with all the little lines. And yet at the same time, the paintings, the drawings have so much warmth that comes out of them. It amazed me. In each case, I was thinking of them hanging on a wall. And that's the feeling I got from it, that it would really just relate to the people that were viewing it. Because the feeling just jumps off the page, despite all the little lines and they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, so you see the lines of the circuit, something very, 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 maybe very, with a lot of structure, and then the paintings before. No?
Vivian,
Go ahead, Rebecca.
Thank you. I am very puzzled about the table because I took a picture of it. I don't know if it's a reflection of the light, but in the background, if you could show the table again, I'm seeing like a wolf in the background.
Yeah.
Up here, well, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. Oh, okay. So on the right-hand side, on top of the table, I see like a wolf, very distinct face of a wolf, and then like a little head of an elephant.
Yes, yes. I tell you what happened in this piece also took me by surprise, because when I was doing the technique, it was when I put this thing like the mold, you know, where I say that you take the tools and you work it like a kind of engrave or it have all these little lines that you see where you can see the elephants or the animals. They are like you know, in the computer, when you open your computer and you have the lines, the little lines, a lot of lines. It was the same. ¿Cómo se dice in
pixels, pixelation, pixels?
Yeah, exactly. It was a pixelation. So when I finished, I said, "What is this?" I mean, it took me by surprise, and really, you can see a lot of things. I mean, you can see you can. It's great. It's great that you can really.
Yeah, but also, I don't know if it's in the picture alone. Hold on. But you don't, in the painting like that, you don't see any color, just black and white.
Yes.
However, in the picture that I took, I see like scallop edges of like a fish in blues and yellows.
Maybe that's the cover of your iPhone.
No, I don't have any cover.
The reflection.
Look, the only thing that maybe can have this painting is a little bit of sepia. You know, the sepia is the kind of brownish,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but not blue.
Yeah,
kind
but
of like a
it's
sepia.
very funny that in the picture I see like aqua blue and yellow, like with the scallops that the fish has. It's very interesting, super.
That's great. I know. Okay.
Congratulations. I think your collection is so extended, so big, and the matters, the motherboards are very, very interesting. Like you feel you are looking at a city from a helicopter, you know, taking a picture down into a city.
Aerial view, an aerial view.
An aerial view.
It's an aerial view, and also in a way that is an aerial view, not only aesthetic, no, in the work, but myself in knowing more the Peru, you know, knowing more where I am living. So in these things that I compare with the textiles and it was also experience that make me grow a lot. You know, to know the people where you live, the people that maybe they don't have the advantages that you have, to be more social, have a social participation where you live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting that
It was a huge project. It was huge. I mean,
but your evolution, I think your evolution combining the people from the Amazon, the tapestries, the textiles from Peru, with the motherboards and recycling, which is so important, that we grew up recycling. Actually, we grew up washing those bottles of glass and recycling, you know. So now everybody's coming back to the roots, and that you're incorporating also survivorship, the Holocaust with your mother and honoring your grandmother. So it's nice that it's a fusion of all your roots plasmated in the art. I'd like to listen to your mom, Halina. Would you unmute yourself and tell us your impression of your daughter's work, please? Can you unmute yourself so we can hear you? Press the little, the mic on the left, bottom left, please.
Emilio, llámala a Emilio, mami, dile que te saque el micrófono.
Corner and you can, bottom left and you can unmute. In the meantime, Monica, if you want to say a few words until your mom gets, there you go. Halina, go ahead.
Well, the only thing that I have to say is that what you just saw in the Vivian's PowerPoint is like this in her art. Her art is amazing. My sister has been going through, you know, her life is searching and doing, and everything is so beautiful. And every time that she presents something new, it's like an amazing surprise to everybody, because it's something really that impressed. Very nice. I am so proud of her all my life, since I was a little girl and I was sitting next to her and I saw her drawing, and I was like, oh my God, how easy it's for her and how difficult it's for me. And well, you know, we all are,
He was always protecting me.
yeah, we all have artistic veins in our family. My sister is an architect. I do also some kind of art. Vivian is the most artistic. My mother also is a poet and a writer. So my grandmother was a painter also. So it's in the family. It's in the family. Yeah, we are an artistic family. But
Algo
Vivian
para
is the number one.
A ver, di mami.
Creo que no está escuchando.
Mami, ¿escuchas? Wait, I'm gonna call.
well, Vivian,
Ahí está, ya, bravo.
as a mother, what can I say? I like your work. Sometimes I don't understand it very well, but most of your paintings I like very, very much. And I hope you will go on for many years more.
Thank you, mami. No se te escucha.
Nehama, we want to hear your comments. Nehama is an artist, so we want to hear from her.
Congratulations, you are an amazing, amazing artist. And we feel very proud of you because you are our representation like a Jewish woman. And we are very proud to have you here with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the experience too.
And go because you are amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Vivian. It was very, very interesting, your presentation. Me as a mother, what can I say? I like all your work.
Okay, well, so and thank you very much. And maybe we can meet in Miami one day or in Lima. I'm looking forward to make some workshops. If you are interested in learn all this about the washing and sanding, but that will be maybe in somewhat when the lockdown is finished and we are already vaccine.
Yeah, well, we're vaccinated, but you can teach virtually. So let us know, keep us posted of your work. And we want to see the evolution. So in the future, we will invite you back and see where you're going from now on. And I like very much how you did during the the pandemic. You've done these images that are abstract.
I tell you something. I'm crazy with these beans. For me, I like beans. You know, it have a lot to do with the ones that are like these ones, but in geometric. You know, you have the spirit of the
like heights. They can resemble many things, like pyramids.
You see, you have the spirit that you stabilized. You know, like you are like a more. It's an insight again, and I think I'm gonna stay in this from a long time. I don't know, when maybe with more colors, but I like the lines a lot. Maybe I'm very influenced by my daughter, that she's an architect. So yes. And well, I thank you very much.
And I like the one below it.
What?
Yeah, the one below it that you have like the blue sky. The one you just showed, and you have the blue sky on the bottom.
The little one?
The one you just showed, and on the bottom you have like
that one.
Blue sky. But I was also intrigued by the lady. You had a lady taking a bath. No, the other one. There was a lady floating the whole body, and she was surrounded by something blue. There was another one. There was a lady floating, and I think it was surrounded by blue.
This one. No?
No.
I can't hear.
Oh, sorry, there was a lady floating and I think she was surrounded by something blue. And I wanted to know a little bit more about that one.
Can I
You could
that
float,
one?
that one. This one. Oh, it wasn't blue, it was just a little bit. So can you explain a little bit? This is like dreamlike. I want to
Beautiful.
like that a lot.
Beautiful.
This one you mean?
Can you? Yeah. What does it mean?
Well, this one is very autobiographic, because I was with all these people very, I have to accept that was kind of toxic, you know, because it's a lot of forces that you don't know that come to you. So it's like when you feel like you are in the ground and you feel like maybe as you know, I think like a motherhood stuff, like woman, you know, you it's like another sense you have, you know, like another telepathic thing that you feel with the ground, you know. It's a lot to do not with the sky, really. That the clear blue is not the sky, it was just a painting, just like a background. The thing is that is se llama resiliencia en la tierra, that means it's more the ground. And maybe I don't remember so much about it, but maybe the little yellow stuff, they are like this, the skin of the snake, you know, like maybe the woman animal, the snake and woman, the tiger and woman, this kind of very mystical, also from the jungle, you know, that they mixed a lot of the power of nature and the human. So is this interrelate, no? I think that that's what it means. I see it very far now, but it was because I did it, these ones are from the maybe 2011, I think, or 2000, they're really like a long time ago, but that was the feeling.
Very powerful, and I like the motion, and it's dream-like. It can mean so many things to the viewer. I think it's very cool.
I tell you, sometimes when I go back and I see, like, for example, this one of the airport, or all these paintings that I did, I say, I mean, what I was eating in that time. You know, when I was doing this, that's in there. I mean, you know, we change, and that's the result. I mean,
Vivian, when you were a little girl, did you used to paint?
Oh, yeah.
As a
I
little
used to draw.
draw? Uh-huh.
I like a lot to draw, and I liked a lot to, I hated, you know, these books where you have the little pieces and you have to paint inside.
Uh-huh.
I hate that. I hate it. What I loved was my white paper and my crayons.
Mm-hmm.
Your work is very spontaneous. I like that. I remember when you had an exhibit here and you had the dancers that look like Matisse, right? You had those dancers.
Ah, yes, yes, in the library.
The work is very spontaneous.
Oh, it was in the Alliance Française. It was oil
I
pastel.
saw it on exhibit. I thought it was here in the States, I thought. But
yes, I think it's one of these
I
ones.
love that.
Yes, they were one of these ones, of these big landscapes.
Very
I don't have it there.
Beautiful.
Well, but
Do we have any other comments, please?
No.
no, okay. So I thank you very much to listen to all my things.
Vivian.
And we still in touch. So okay.
Thank you very much. We wish you
Matt again. Thank you to Diane Cohen for coordinating this with Annabelle, with Vivian Perez, with Raquel. We think a lot today about Matilde Bejar, a very active member of our group who hasn't been feeling very well today, but we wish her refuah shlema, refuata nefesh, refuata guf. And to all of you, thank you so very much for being with us. And I hope we see you again. Raquel, do you want to tell them about the next Art Connection Zooms?
We will have in March, we will have Marcia.
No, March 8th, we have Nurit Birnbaum. She does sculpture. She's from Venezuela. And she has amazing sculpture in bronze and different media. That's Nurit Birnbaum.
Nurit, okay.
April, we will have Diana Burstein, April the 5th. We will send you the whole schedule. And she's an artist, but she's a chef. So Tia Tasty is her pseudonym under the chef. So we will keep you posted. And that will be on the 5th of April. And in May, we have Marta Strohovsky. She's Peruvian, but resides in Canada. And she does sculpture. So we will keep you posted because we have lots of events coming up. So thank you all for participating today. We hope you had a good time. And thank you, Vivian, and your family for this beautiful presentation.
Thank you very much.
See you all. Thank you very much.
Thank
you, Vivian. Thank you, Alina. Un placer haberte visto. Que siempre sea con alegrías. Sí.
Hola, Raquel.
¿Cómo estás, mi amor? ¿Qué tal? Qué alegría verte.
Muy bien.
Y te felicito por tu hija. Qué linda obra que está haciendo. La verdad que es espectacular.
Gracias.
Siempre sabíamos qué lindo y que no aceptó hacerlo ahora para AMAT. Ha sido una alegría y una buena obra.
Gracias.
Que siga siempre todo con los hijos, con todos. Espero verte algún día pronto.
Fuerte, recordando los viejos tiempos.
Así es, así es. Qué lindo, qué bueno. Ok, Jalina, es un placer verte y a tus hijas, a todas, a Mónica, a Vivian, a verlas a ellas. Es una alegría. Gracias al Zoom que podemos conectarnos ahora.
Quiero mandarte un libro mío con unos poemas que yo escribí.
Ay, por favor, me encantaría.
¿Cómo puedo mandártelo?
Find out. We will find out a way.
Okay.
Venga.
You have to find out, please.
Yes, we will. Alina writes poetry and she's published a book. So
it's two books. It's the second book.
Okay, very nice. Thank you all for participating.
I want to send to you and also to Annabelle those two books.
Thank you.
What can I do?
We will let you know. Don't worry. We will.
A friend of us will link it. A friend that comes to Lima.
Raquel, you have my telephone?
No, dámelo.
Yeah, it's 221.
No, not now. I'm going to give it to you. Don't worry. I'll give it to you.
221
Don't say it on the Zoom. No, we will give it to you. I will give it to her.
Thank you very much. It was very nice. Thank you.
Love you.
Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Hola, Nehama.
Hola, Linda. Thank you.
Thank you.